Bonjour à tous. Welcome everyone to this special and honorary degree ceremony celebrating the outstanding contributions and achievements of Madame Claire Bolduc, Professor Andrew Cherlin, Monsieur Gilles Patry, and Mr. George Schindler. Il me fait plaisir de joindre ma voix à celle de leurs familles, de leurs amis et collègues, afin d'adresser nos plus chaleureuses félicitations et notre reconnaissance à ces personnes exceptionnelles. McGill University's honorary degrees are the means by which the university expresses its highest ideals, recognizing individuals whose accomplishments are of such excellence that they provide inspiration and leadership to our community. It is with great enthusiasm that I support the view of both our Honorary Degree and Convocations Committee and our Senate that these four extraordinary individuals surpass these criteria. Each recipient will be introduced by the dean of the respective faculty, followed by the conferral of the degrees by Chancellor John McCall McBain. Au nom de toute la communauté McGilloise, j'offre mes plus sincères félicitations à nos 4 récipiendaires et je tiens à souligner à quel point nous sommes honorés et privilégiés de vous compter parmi les nôtres.
It is my great pleasure to introduce Madame Claire Bolduc, a passionate advocate for rural affairs, agriculture and agronomy in the province of Quebec. Madame Bolduc's career achievements have always been associated with the agri-food sector. As Vice President and later President of the Ordre des Agronomes du Québec, only the third woman in 80 years to hold that position, she ensured that the public's health and well-being were protected. This was followed by her appointment as Regional Director of the Control Centre for the Ministry of the Environment of Quebec. In this position, Madame Bolduc was responsible for the environmental activities in the region of Abitibi-Témiscamingue and Northern Quebec. Durant toute sa carrière et dans l'ensemble de ses engagements, Claire Bolduc a fait la promotion d'une agriculture plus respectueuse de l'environnement et de la santé des gens. Elle a aussi donné une voix forte pour les milieux de vie de qualité en ruralité, pour le droit de la différence des communautés rurales et pour leur importance partout, au Québec, au Canada et dans le monde. Aside from her professional career, Madame Bolduc has spent her life sharing her passion for the agri-food sector. Claire Bolduc's life work to champion for the rightful place of the rural sector has been recognized through numerous awards, including her appointment in 2013 as Chevalière to the Ordre National du Québec. Her love for agriculture and le terroir also extends to her personal life. Since 1995, she has been co-owner of the vignoble Le Domaine des Ducs. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Claire Bolduc, so that you may confer upon her the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Renowned American scholar, sociologist, and demographer, Professor Andrew Cherlin is an expert on marriage, cohabitation, and societal trends in family formation. In 1993, he was named the Benjamin H. Griswold III Professor of Public Policy in the Department of Sociology at Johns Hopkins, a position he held until his retirement in 2021. Professor Cherlin has studied major sociological and demographic characteristics of families and households as they have changed over the past 40 years. He has investigated union formation and dissolution, the effects of family structure on children, and broad trends in family change, including what he has termed the deinstitutionalization of marriage. His 1978 article in the American Journal of Sociology titled Remarriage as an Incomplete Institution remains a hallmark reference 43 years after its publication. Several of his books have been widely used as course standards. He participated in many landmark studies and a multi-site examination of the impact of the 1990s welfare reform on children. More recently, he has examined social class differences in family life. Over his career, Professor Cherlin has held key leadership positions in major scholarly organizations and currently sits on the board of directors of the American Academy of Political and Social Science. He has also been extremely engaged and involved in various capacities with the academic community. Professor Andrew Cherlin is an exceptional social scientist who has made enormous contributions to our understanding of family and household change, and its impact on and implications for children, social welfare, employment, poverty, care, and health. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Andrew Cherlin, so that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
It gives me great pleasure to introduce Gilles Patry, a scholar, engineer, and academic leader, whose career is proof of his profound commitment to quality education and research. Dr. Patry's research has focused on the modeling, simulation, and control of environmental systems, including water and wastewater treatment facilities. In 1991, his research culminated with the development of GPSX, a modular multi-purpose modeling system for the simulation of wastewater treatment plant dynamics. 30 years later, GPSX remains the industry standard for the mathematical modeling, control, optimization, and management of wastewater treatment facilities. Dr. Patry began his career as an environmental engineering consultant before moving to teaching civil engineering, first at École Polytechnique de Montréal in 1978, and then at McMaster University in 1983. In 1993, he returned to his alma mater, the University of Ottawa, as Dean of the Faculty of Engineering. This was followed by a term as Vice President Academic between 1997 and 2001, and finally as President and Vice Chancellor from 2001 to 2008. In 2010, Dr. Patry became President and CEO of the Canada Foundation for Innovation, an independent organization created by the Government of Canada to fund state-of-the-art research facilities. In 2017, he was appointed Executive Director of the U15 Group of Canadian Research Universities, an organization that brings together some of the most research-intensive universities to foster the development and delivery of long-term sustainable higher education and research policies. A truly accomplished and exemplary leader in Canadian academia, Dr. Gilles Patry has received many honors and awards. In 2009, he was named Chevalier de l'Ordre de la Pléiade by l'Assemblée parlementaire de la Francophonie. He is a recipient of the Queen Elizabeth II Golden and Diamond Jubilee Medals. In 2010, he was appointed to the Order of Canada and the Order of Ontario. President Emeritus and Professor Emeritus of the University of Ottawa, Dr. Patry is also a Fellow of the Canadian Academy of Engineering and a Fellow of the Royal Society of Canada. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you Gilles Patry, so that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa.
It is my immense pleasure to introduce George Schindler, President and Chief Executive Officer and a member of the Board of Directors of CGI, a global information technology and business consulting company headquartered in Montreal. Today, CGI is one of the global frontrunners in helping companies and governments harness the transformational power of technology in our digitally connected world. Since joining CGI through the company's acquisition of American Management Systems, Inc., AMS, Mr. Schindler has served numerous leadership roles across CGI's operations. Mr. Schindler is a prominent business leader who focuses on creating collaborative, inclusive teams within the company and within the communities where CGI consultants live and work. Through the company's extensive corporate social responsibility initiatives, CGI's consultants partner with clients, educational institutions, and charities to champion digital inclusion for all, and to share their expertise through social impact projects. Importantly, under Mr. Schindler's leadership, the company has announced its climate commitment to be net zero carbon emissions by 2030. Mr. Schindler has instilled his passion for education and lifelong learning into the day-to-day environment of CGI by actively promoting continuous development within the organization through CGI's own university and rotational assignment initiatives that promote learning on the job. He has encouraged numerous partnerships with leading universities around the world to support a continuum from research and development to workplace-based application and learning, whether through support for applied research or through the placement of interns and new graduates in the company. George Schindler represents the very kind of resilient and versatile lifelong learner and leader that McGill University fosters. Mr. Chancellor, I present to you George Schindler, so that you may confer upon him the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa. Thank you.
McGill's highest honor, an honorary degree, is awarded to individuals who have lifetime records of outstanding scholarly, scientific, or artistic achievement, or of exceptional contributions to the public good through professional or philanthropic activity that make them worthy candidates and positions them to contribute to McGill's reputation and distinction, both at home and internationally. It is my great pleasure, in my capacity as Chancellor of McGill University, to award honorary degrees to notable individuals who embody many of these traits and are extremely worthy of this honor. Madame Claire Bolduc, Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Professor Andrew Cherlin, Doctor of Letters, honoris causa. Monsieur Gilles Patry, Doctor of Science, honoris causa. Mr. George Schindler, Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. By virtue of the powers conferred upon me by Senate, I declare that the University Senate has resolved that honorary degrees be bestowed upon these distinguished individuals on October 21st, 2021. En vertu des pouvoirs qui me sont conférés par le Sénat, je déclare que le Sénat de l'Université a résolu que des diplômes honorifiques soient décernés à ces nobles individus le 21 octobre 2021.
What led me to my career was really the turbulent decade of the 1960s when I was an undergraduate. It was a time of great social change, a time of great social conflict, and it turned many of us to social science. I was actually an engineering major, floundering because I didn't particularly like engineering, and I then found a passion for studying the social situation of the U.S., which led me to teach high school, which led to graduate school, which led me to get a PhD in sociology.
While I always wanted to be an engineer, you will have noticed that my career path has been somewhat unusual. Consulting engineer, professor, founding president of an environmental engineering and software development company, university administrator, president of a granting agency, and now executive director at the U15. In each and every one of these exciting challenges, I've had the opportunity and the privilege of being surrounded by exceptional individuals, students, postdocs, colleagues, friends, and family who have supported me over the years, making the past 40 years so much more exciting and gratifying.
Mon cheminement de carrière a été guidé par deux choses, la science et les convictions reliées à ce que la science nous apporte. C'est un cheminement de carrière qui a été entrepris au niveau de l'enseignement. C'est un cheminement de carrière qui m'a permis de mettre en évidence l'importance de l'agronomie dans la pratique agricole, l'importance de toute la science qu'on doit avoir derrière chacune des pratiques agricoles.
Well, seeing the impact of what technology could do to make companies and governments more effective and efficient, it really hooked me on a career in IT consulting. And over the years, my natural intellectual curiosity and drive to be a continuous learner always led me to be ready to say yes to new opportunities and roles. And I have been so fortunate to be surrounded by talented individuals who I've been able to learn from throughout my career.
As for what I wanted to be when I grew up, I actually wanted to be a cartoonist. I enjoyed writing cartoons for the school newspaper, the college humor magazine, but there was no future in that. And to boot, I didn't have enough talent to do it. So I picked a career where it helps to have a sense of humor, namely being a college professor.
You know, my research focused on modeling and simulation of environmental systems. These efforts led to the development of a modular, multi-purpose dynamic modeling system known as GPSX. Well, 30 years later, GPSX continues to be the industry standard in modeling, simulation, control, and optimization of wastewater treatment facilities.
La première contribution, c'est tout le soutien au développement de la formation agricole et agroalimentaire dans le territoire que j'habite, le territoire du Témiscamingue. Ça a apporté les 20 premières années de ma carrière. Je suis très fière de ça parce que c'est la performance du secteur repose sur la compétence des gens qui développent et qui y travaillent dans ce secteur-là, le secteur agricole et agroalimentaire. Alors ma contribution au développement de ces compétences-là me rend fière.
What does this honorary degree mean to me? Well, it means international recognition. I have great respect for my peers and colleagues in Canadian institutions at McGill and throughout Canada. And to get this kind of recognition suggests to me that my work has had some international impact, and that my colleagues, who I greatly respect in my neighboring country, have chosen to honor me for it. This I really appreciate, and I thank you all very much.
Well, as a child of educators, I was raised to revere the power and importance of education and continuous learning. And McGill is recognized around the world as a leading university, especially in its commitment to diversity in all forms, notably fostering diversity of thought, ideas, and healthy debate. And I feel very aligned to McGill's mission and commitment, and am so deeply honored to be recognized by such a prestigious institution, and proud now to be part of the McGill community.
I realize that these are very unusual times. However, let me tell you that over the last 20 months, researchers, including many from McGill University, have worked tirelessly to create and produce vaccines, PPE, and health policies designed to control and stop the spread of this deadly virus. The fact that so many high-efficiency vaccines have been produced in such a short period of time speaks to the power of research and innovation. Around the world, innovation-driven ecosystems are anchored by world-class research-intensive universities, just like McGill University. Innovation is about people. Innovation builds on basic, curiosity-driven research to make things better for the benefit of society. And this pandemic has shown us the power of research and the importance of innovation.
Si j'avais une boule de cristal, ce que je dirais à Claire Bolduc quand elle avait 21 ans, c'est ce que je dirais à ma petite fille Raphaël maintenant. La vie, elle n'est pas parfaite, mais elle est souvent très belle. Des fois, il y a des périodes très intenses, des fois, il y a des périodes plus calmes. Je dirais 3 choses à Claire Bolduc de 21 ans. 1. Vas-y avec tes idées. Fais-toi confiance et fais confiance à ces idées-là. Peut-être que tu peux te tromper, mais tu peux beaucoup apprendre si tu fais une erreur et que tu es assez lucide pour comprendre quel est le cheminement que tu aurais pu faire autrement. Ça, c'est la première chose. Fais confiance à tes idées, propulse-les. La deuxième des choses, et ça vient avec l'expérience, mais je le livrerai quand même à Claire Bolduc à 21 ans ou à Raphaël, ma petite fille maintenant, je dirais, quand tu frappes un mur, essaye pas de le défoncer. Tu perds énormément d'énergie et ça ne te donnera rien. Quand tu frappes un mur, essaie de le surmonter ou de le contourner, mais pas de le défoncer.
The challenges and opportunities facing today's graduates have never been greater. At the same time, probably more than any other generation, today's graduates are better positioned to help solve the challenges and thereby realize the opportunities given their purpose-driven outlook. Purpose and passion are necessary, and when coupled with their McGill education, they are well equipped to have a bold, transformative impact on the world.
Le doctorat honorifique a une très grande signification pour moi, et je suis émue de le dire. D'abord, c'est reconnaître que les batailles qui ont été menées et que j'ai menées, elles en valaient la peine. Ça n'a pas de prix. Mais c'est aussi de donner le message que pour la suite des choses, la suite des événements, ce sont des batailles, des avancées sur lesquelles la société pourra s'appuyer, qui constituera des ancrages solides pour la société qui continuera. Pour mes enfants, que j'aime de tout mon cœur, pour mes petits-enfants, ça veut dire que j'ai fait la bonne chose. Et je suis très fière de ce qui a été fait. Pour le développement de l'agriculture, pour les batailles sur limiter l'utilisation des pesticides, pour la ruralité, son développement et sa voix à la différence, son droit d'être différent, son droit d'être prospère à même cette différence-là. Pour la suite des choses, je suis très fière du doctorat que je reçois aujourd'hui.
En terminant, permettez-moi de remercier mes collaborateurs, mes étudiants et mes collègues de travail avec qui j'ai eu le grand privilège de travailler durant ma carrière. J'ai eu la chance au cours des années d'être entouré de personnes compétentes et dévouées qui ont marqué mon parcours de différentes façons. Et l'une de ces personnes est mon épouse Ruby, qui enrichit ma vie tous les jours et je la remercie de tout cœur. Congratulations to the other honorary degree recipients. Thank you.
I'd just like to again thank the leadership of McGill and for this wonderful honor, and I'm deeply touched and looking forward to continuing to be a part of the McGill family.